We're also going to be talking about election fraud, or more specifically, claims of election fraud. I do not know that there was any election fraud. I am not saying that there was any election fraud in Arizona. I want to be clear on that. I am tired of doing that dance. That opening was aimed was aimed at you, Susan, letting you know I'm tired of this. That you're going to start that you dictate to us which two words we can put together in a sentence. I'm certainly advocating that everyone should continue to go out there and vote. I am not saying that there was fraud, but I am tired of doing this whole little dance about what it is that I must say and what I have to tell my audience. Other than the fact that I am telling you that unless you're a fool, you should understand that whatever you think about elections in 2022, 2020, 2018, 2016, or whatever elections that might be applicable to your local jurisdiction, whatever you think about the integrity of said elections, you should go out and vote. Because the only reason that any inspection of elections ever happens is if the vote is close enough that people feel like it's worthwhile to inspect it. If somebody ends up going out there and getting a win by like a margin of like 70-30, no one's looking at it. No one's looking at those numbers. No one's looking at what's happening. No one's looking at the process. The only time we have an opportunity to have the process examined is when we have these 49, 50, 51 type things, or 49.93 to 50.07 type of votes. That's the only time anyone really cares about these things, which is why even if you question the integrity of our elections, I am telling you, you're an idiot if you don't go out there and cast your ballot, because you're making it more likely that in the event that there has been some sort of shenanigans, then you're suspicious that there were shenanigans. What I'm saying is, by you going out and voting, you're making it more likely that any shenanigans that may ever rise anytime in the future, that will be exposed. So I urge you, no matter what you think about the integrity of our election processes, that you go out there and cast your votes, if only to make it that much more likely that our votes is secure, and that our vote can at least try to become secure if you think that they're not presently secure. So what we're going to be talking about Kari Lake tonight, what I'm going to tell you is these are all her claims as to what happened in the 2022 election. I do not know what happened in the 2022 election. You do not know what happened. We all speculate. We all have our different theories, and that's fine. But nobody knows. Nobody knows, because you didn't sit there counting the ballots. You might have questions, and I understand those questions. But my point to Susan, if you're reviewing this now, by Susan, in case you're confused by this, I'm talking to you, the overlords of YouTube. My point to you is you need to let us talk, especially when you're talking about people who are not trying to sit there advocating for any sort of violence. I'm not sitting here trying to discourage people from thinking that, like, you know, from performing their civic duties. But a healthy dialogue leads towards a healthier America. And when we shut down dialogue, if you try shutting people like me down, people who say, hey, there are questions out there and these questions should be considered, that makes people trust the process more. You cannot trust a process which you're told to just go on faith, believe it. Nobody can trust that. It's very, very hard to trust that. You can have an open conversation and just say, hey, look, these are the questions that people have, without trying to find some way that, oh, this is going to be affecting people and whatever. They're going to sit there and that all of a sudden, if someone's YouTube creator goes out there and starts throwing questions out there, that people are going to start becoming violent, or they'll be disenfranchised from voting, whatever make-believe explanation we have for why it is that these conversations should not be had. These conversations are important if we're going to have a healthy country here. So I'm urging you, in the interest of America, in the interest of advancing America and making this country a greater place, I'm urging you to not do your knee-jerk reaction of just saying, oh, there's Joe Neerman, and he put the words election and fraud in the same sentence together, so we're just going to knee-jerk yeet him for a week. Now, I don't know that won't happen. I might get a strike tomorrow. That could happen. But I'm tired of doing this dance. We have to get to a point where we can have a healthy discussion and not have it twisted into like, oh, Joe's trying to discourage people from going out and voting or encouraging violence, which are the exact opposite of the messages that I'm giving my audience here, which is political violence is stupid, never engage in political violence, it's dumb, and it just backfires, and it actually leads to worse results than what you started with before you engage in political violence. So don't do it. I'm advocating as strong as possible against it without any sort of sense of sarcasm or hyperbole. I really mean that. I believe it. And I also am telling you, go out and vote, because if you go out and vote, even if you think that the system, if in your heart you believe that the system is rigged, the only way that that could possibly be remedied, if you're right, I'm not saying that you are right, I don't know, but if you are right, the only way there's a chance of having that remedied, any chance at all, is if you invest the effort to actually go and fill out your ballot and timely cast your ballot. All right, we got that out of the way.